What's going on, guys? This is Travesty here, and today I'm bringing you week 5 of the Pokemon Premier League's inaugural VGC season. So we are 3-1 currently. It's a 5-week season, so if we win this game, we are basically locked. Not just basically locked, we are locked for playoffs. There is no way anyone can pass us if we win 4 games out of 5. We're definitely making the top 4 of our division that way. But standing in our way is none other than Elfal, so their links will be in the description as per usual, and they're currently undefeated, 4-0, so we do have our work cut out for us, and they have some major threats to my team. The Mega Delphox is a real issue, because it resists Floette's damage, and with its dual stabs can hit pretty much everything on my team super hard. King Gambit is always an issue as well. Priority Sucker Punch is good, it can live a hit from Floette and Iron Head to destroy it. Basculegion is probably the best mon in Regulation MA, and even though it's only the female version, it's still pretty hard. And they have some other interesting techs here as well. Weavile for fast fake out, Klefki they've used really well, including like a Misty Terrain set to help their Goodra setup, and the Mega Venusaur. I don't really think Conkeldurr comes here, which is their only Wide Guard user. I also don't think Chimecho or Manectric really have a place in this matchup. Manectric's sole job really would be to try and hit the Gyarados, but because we have Raichu, I think that's pretty heavily dissuaded. And Conkeldurr just dies to Floette, so even if it was brought for Wide Guard and Muck Punch, those aren't particularly great into my team. And the Chimecho is a handy Trick Room setup, but I'm not sure they're going to try and go for the Trick Room angle here. If I had to guess, I think they're going to try and go fast with like Delphox Weavile lead as an option, and then Venu Klefki lead as a different option, potentially Rain Dance Klefki for the Basculegion. Could go Swish Swim as well, or it could just be Choice Scarf, because Physical Scarf is really good into the likes of Floette, with my main water resist being the Dragapult, which they can just annihilate with the last respects. So, with that in mind, our game plan here is to try and get up Tailwind early. So if they lead with Weavile and Delphox, my plan is to lead Volcarona and Kangaskhan. What these two offer me is the ability to fake out and Tailwind, basically, and then if they fake out my Tailwind setter, I get off good damage and don't take a lot with my Kang, and if they fake out my Kang, then I get Tailwind up. Then have Heat Wave and Giga Drain on this Volcarona. Heat Wave is just good damage into basically everything except for the Delphox and the Basculegion. And the Goodra. I really don't think Goodra comes here. It's so threatened by Floette, and just doesn't do enough damage into other things, I don't think. And they can't really afford to get a setup off like an Acid Armor or whatever, because I have Floette and Dragapult to just nuke it. So we can't really hit Goodra at all. We also can't really hit Delphox at all, but our plan is just to, we can actually protect on a fake out turn or just get Tailwind up, Giga Drain to get good damage into the Basculegion, and then just Heat Wave to get good chip across everything. Like I said, I'm not expecting them to bring their Wide Guard mon, so that gives us free damage into whatever is on the other side as long as we hit, and chance for burns. We are of course Flame Body as the ability, so if they do fake out into us, there's always chance of getting a burn there. Same with the like Basculegion, King Gambit, things like that. And we are running the Pasho Berry, so if we do get Tailwind up and they go into Basculegion thinking they can just Aqua Jet to KO, we might live that Aqua Jet and then can get off a Giga Drain. Now the pair for Volcarona is going to be a Silk Scarf, Scrappy, Kangaskhan here, Fake Out, Double Edge, Sucker Punch, and Brick Break. Brick Break is dual purpose, allows us to hit Weavile and King Gambit for 4 times super effective damage, but also break potential screens from the Klefki, which is another angle I think they could try and go, is like screens Klefki with Leech Seed Venusaur, because that thing is a bit hard for my team to take down. Silk Scarf, Adamant Double Edge does so much damage, like Fake Out into Double Edge just kills basically everything. Klefki does kind of hard wall us, but that's why Brick Break is nice, and you'll notice we are specifically faster than Volcarona, but also faster than Floette by 1 point with this Kangaskhan, and that speed investment isn't really for... with Tailwind up we outspeed everything, and without Tailwind up we don't outspeed the faster things, so I'm just not running a lot of speed on most of my mons here. But this is so that we can go for Brick Break before things like Volcarona and Floette attack, so if they do get dual screens up, we'll break those dual screens, then we can hit with our harder hitters on the other side. Double Edge is just pretty good into their team, to be honest. Like, this does over half to a especially defensive Venusaur, and then if they're physically defensive, my Floet has coverage for it as well. Sucker Punch, I decided over Crunch because there's situations where we're not going to outspeed the Delphox and the Basculegion, and this is really strong priority into those. So that's going to be the moves on the Kangaskhan. We do have Scrappy just to be able to fake out that Basculegion in case we need to. Then we have Gallade here. So we're running, I can't remember what the defense investment was actually for. I think that was just optimized to take like something from probably a triple axle from Weavile or something like that. We're just running 4 attacks with Twisted Spoon here. Because I'm running a really offensive team, I brought a lot less protect. The idea is like we're going to get Tailwind up and just hit things. And Gallade with max attack Adamant with the Twisted Spoon does so much damage. With Twisted Spoon, because Psycho Cut is our best coverage into both Venusaur and the Basculegion. I thought about trying to run Leaf Blade for Basque, but it just wasn't worth it when Twisted Spoon Psycho Cut does like 80% min, and so if we get that with a double up with like a Heat Wave or whatever, we should be able to finish it off. And we need to bring Psycho Cut for that Venusaur. If Venusaur is behind screens, for example, this is our main way of threatening it, and with the Twisted Spoon we do so much damage. We then have Aqua Cutter. This allows us to hit the Delphox, which resists our dual stabs, although it still takes a ton because Gallade is stupid. Aqua Cutter is just a clean OHKO on that thing, and it also allows us to hit the Gliscor in the back. And then Shadow Sneak is, again, just a little bit of priority in case they stall out our Tailwind. We can take out things like the Delphox and the Basculegion. And we are running just enough speed on this thing to creep anything that's trying to creep my Dragapult. So if they're like Scarf Basculegion with enough speed for Dragapult, then under Tailwind we will outspeed that. So that's the idea with Gallade here, and that means we should guarantee outspeed everything else. And obviously Sacred Sword just blows back the likes of King Gambit and Weavile, and still does a ton to Klefki because it's such a powerful move. Then we have Mega Floet, so we are just running Light of Ruin, Dazzling Gleam, Psychic and Protect here. We're not going to try and get set up at all, we're just going to try and hit buttons. Dazzling Gleam is what we're going to click 99% of the time. We'll click Psychic into Mega Venusaur, and then Light of Ruin is specifically in case we end up in like a 1v1 versus the King Gambit. Light of Ruin will kill it, whereas Moonblast won't. And so we can just Light of Ruin into that thing because we're not super threatened by the Sucker Punch. And then we've got a lot of bulk. I don't think this allows us to live an Iron Head, but it like makes it close, is my I think that was the calc. And also same with like Liquidation. Just generally good enough bulk. And like I said, I'm expecting to bring the Psyshock on the Delphox to hit us on the physical side because a few of our mons that can handle the Heat Waves are a lot frailer on the physical side. So Volcarona, Gyarados, Floet are all more frail on the physical side than on the special, and so I think that Psyshock is almost a definite bring here. We have Protect because there wasn't really another fourth move that I needed per se, and Floet draws so much attention into it that sometimes people will double into it just to get a KO, and we can Protect and hit back with our partner. So those are the main 4. The options I have to pivot into are going to be Dragapult here, Mr. Liu. We are especially offensive Dragapult with the Colbur Berry. So we have Will-O-Wisp, Colbur to try and get around the Sucker Punch shenanigans from the King Gambit, Shadow Ball just to hit the Delphox and Basculegion pretty hard, Flamethrower to hit the Klefki and the Weavile pretty hard. We can also just Willow into things like the Gliscor to nerf its damage output, or the Venusaur. I decided to run Shadow Ball over Hex because we do still want to be able to hit the Delphox as hard as we can. We are running Modest here, but with enough speed to creep them creeping our Raichu, basically. So if they run Modest Delphox with enough investment to outspeed Raichu, we'll outspeed that, and then we have the rest in HP just to try and take a hit, and then with the Colbur Berry we should be able to take like a Kowtow or whatever from the King Gambit and fire off a Willow. And like I said, with the Psyshock thing, I'm expecting Basculegion, even though it is the female one, to run a physical set here, so if we can catch that thing with a Willow on the switch in or something as well, that's nice. Protect to try and keep Dragapult safe. Cursed Body, if it goes off, it goes off, you know, like, I thought about running Infiltrator, but because we have Brick Break teched onto the team, I wasn't super worried about that. Delphox could try and get up subs, but we really pressure it with enough, and it is more likely to be running like Encore or Nasty Plot, I think. And so, yeah, Cursed Body does more for us than Infiltrator, and they don't have anyway to lower our special attack outside of like Snarl Weavile, I think. So and I don't think that's particularly likely, so yeah, we're just gonna go with Curse Body and see if it procs. And then the last one we have is Zoroark. We are running a Focus Sash Zoroark here. This is one where we are actually running a lot of speed. And running enough speed to outspeed, I believe, Gliscor. And then we're running Mixed. So we've got Throat Chop because it hits Delphox harder than Knockoff. Throat Chop is actually, I think, a guaranteed OHKO into Delphox. So with Tailwind up, we can just kill that thing. Sucker Punch again, strong priority. Brick Break again for the 2 4x fighting weak mons, but also to break screens. Flamethrower for the Klefki. Can't do a lot into the likes of Venusaur. This is more to pull Zoroark style shenanigans. I thought about running like Scarf Snarl, but it was a little bit hard to justify like into King Gambit basically, and there was never a move that I wanted to lock myself in with Scarf, so instead we've gone for Focus Sash to try and guaranteed live a hit. It's unlikely they're going to double into this thing. They don't generally have like double spread moves, if that makes sense. It's more likely to be like a Heat Wave from the Delphox and then a single target for something else, so hopefully we can live any one hit if they get up like a nasty plot with the Delphox, and then we can just KO back with a Throat Chop, or we can threaten with Sucker Punch. So that's going to be the team. We have like our dedicated 4 and then a couple of options if they bring something I don't expect that I think can still do work. So we're going to jump right into the battle now and see how they go.
Here we are against Elfals. Shoutouts to them. I actually got my time zones completely wrong the first time we scheduled the battle, so they've graciously rescheduled. Let's see what they bring. This is basically what we expected. There's no Mega Venu, so Gliscor was not entirely expecting. No Venusaur is crazy. I thought that thing was a Master Brain. It was so good into me. Delphox, that's King Gambit. Ask. Weavile. Alright, so it looks like we're going fast mode. I'm gonna go with the plan and just see how we go. I'm glad I teched Aqua Cutter onto Gallade. That could be important. No Conk, so no Wide Guard. No Mega Venu is the big one. Like I said, didn't expect Manectric to show up, or is there anything else top tier that I was kind of expecting? Not really, I don't think. Alright, good luck, have fun to Elf. Let's see what he goes with. Friday. Alright, this is kind of perfect. This is the lead I more or less expected. I'm gonna Tailwind. We could see them go for Fake Out, we could see them go for Protect. But if I get damage onto that Delphox, yeah, Fake Out into Sucker's Evolve, so we'll see. We'll make her up. Yeah, they Fake Out my Kang. We flinch, they go for Heat Wave, just get their damage. No burn, and we get Tailwind up. Perfect. So this is so far all kind of as we would expect. So Double Edge should absolutely blow back this Delphox. So that's what I'm going to go for right here. There's a chance they protect, but we'll get Heat Wave into the Weavile anyway. That did do a lot. Are you modest? 98. So that must have done 82.
No, that's looking, yeah, that's looking modest. They are going to protect here. I expected it, but I don't think I have a better play. Because if they don't protect, then we just waste a turn. As long as we hit the Weavile here, we should be in good nick. Okay, it shouldn't Oko, and they'll probably Sash, but we'll do a lot. It's going to knock off into the Kangaskhan. It's kind of fine. I say kind of fine. Not ideal. Getting a double Elf Drop would have been nice. We get to go into Gallade. Who's faster, actually? 120, 108, okay. So I am gonna get the drain here. Let's have Ice Shard, that'll do a little bit of chip. Take out Ice Shard and knock. I don't mind revealing Giga Drain. Yeah, that just deletes Stealth off. Okay, got 3-2. I just didn't want to miss a Heat Wave there, and that should always be a KO into the Dolphox, so yeah. Asgore is going to be you, and the fish. We've got one turn to Tailwind left. We should take an Aqua Jet, so I'm going to Giga Drain here. And I think Psycho Cut here as well. See if that's Scarf Bask. Do good Sucker Punch. We do live. We've got Goat. And this should just KO. Okay. So there's no way King Gambit brings us back. To preserve differential, I think my play is to protect and Sacred Sword. Because I'm pretty sure Sacred Sword KOs through Chopple, which is crazy. Yeah. That's going to be Choppleberry. Let's see how bulky you are. Damn. So that has to be more than max HP. That actually has to be defense invested as well. I have no reason to reveal more tech here. I'm just gonna do this. We don't die to Sucker. Even crit Sucker Punch. Yeah. Great. Alright, that's game one. Whew. Okay, now to not go completely on the road for the next game. So we know that King Gambit is Chopple and very fast. In fact, with how much that sucker did less than half, so you're like not even, potentially not even attack invested. That's crazy. Or like very little attack investment.
let's run it back. I don't think I change up my modes at all here. Could see Klefki and Glasgow come out. If we do, just fake out the Glasgow and then we can brick break the following turn. I think this is what I want to do. I kind of just want to see how they adjust, if they adjust, and go from there. Klefki is obviously annoying, but we do have the brick break for it. And they could just target differently. Like if they fake out Volcarona, do I make a different play? This is the hardest part about VGC draft, is the best of three thing. Because like I came up with a game plan and it worked. Now what? You know? I think the games where I've done the best is where I've had like a flexible lead. Lobter is gonna be, yeah, you. Alright, I'm expecting them to match tailwinds here. So how much are we doing into the Lobter? Not enough. I think I have to fake out here and Heatwave. I almost ran Inner Focus specifically for this interaction. Okay, so we do outspeed the Gliscor. That's unfortunate that we miss on the Weavile, and yeah, they go for Tailwind. And that's really unfortunate that we miss on Weavile. Like really, really unfortunate. That sucks. I am gonna Brick Break here and Heatwave again, I think. We should. I'm still expecting Weavile to be Sash, and Bask to be Scarf. Tailwind. Okay, that's payback for the Heatwave miss. Now no flinch, please. Brings you down to Sash. Yeah. Yep, Sash Pickpocket is what I expected, and we double land the Heatwave. Okay, so Weavile goes down. Ah, it's Citrus. That's unfortunate. I was going to say you're in range, but it is not in range, in fact. Okay, what I'm gonna do here, do I switch ever? I don't think so. I'm gonna Sucker Punch you, and how many hands of Tailwind have we got left? Two? Two. And Protect. So we saw that Volk outsped the Gliscor, so we know that Floette will outspeed, so we just need to get damage down onto this Delphox. Yeah, so I can like dual wing beat heat wave here. Yeah, nice. So if they don't KO Kang, we threaten a lot. They do Psyshock this slot. We do live because Kangaskhan's the GOAT, and it's just Rock Slide. That, I'm sorry, okay. We are now the lucky ones. So I think they protect and Rock Slide. And I think I want to preserve the Fake Out. Realistically, I think we switch you out and we go for Tailwind. If they double KO, then they double KO. If not, then we have Fake Out Pressure the following turn. Yeah, there's the Protect. It's just going to be Rock Slide. That's fine. Tailwind's gone. We go back into Kangaskhan. I actually don't care about them getting Tailwind up here because they have so much priority. Please don't disconnect. So Fake Out looks like a roll. It's like 165, so we've got a relatively high roll on Sucker. What I'm gonna do is, do I Psycho Cut and Fake Out the same slot? Because I think they have to try and double protect. No, I'm actually going to Aqua Cutter here, Fake Out. Ah, it didn't go through! Shit. Shit. Okay, they do switch out into the fish. Okay. Well, it's not what I would have preferred, but I think we're still in an okay spot here. How much is Shadow Sneak doing? Shadow Sneak should take you out. So I'm going to go for Sneak into this slot. And Sucker here. Do we see a Protect? Is the only thing I'm worried about. If it's Protect and into Gallade, we still threaten with Sucker. Cool, so no Protect, we get half down onto you, and Sneak should take out the Delphox. And now it's Basculegion in a 1v3. Okay, we should be okay here. It is gonna be Wave Crash. And that's gonna be game. Give me a 2-0. Fluent hits the field. Showing that I do actually have it on my team. But I think we always just Sneak. And do we even die to one? I mean, there's no way you live a Shadow Sneak. Unless you're like Sea Berry, in which case you're not scarfed. This should be a 2-0 victory. Oh, it lives.
I'm sorry, preserving differential does matter. And we'll go for the nuke button. But yeah, I think that's game. GG's to Alpal, thanks again for rescheduling. Make sure you go check him out. He's been on a tear this season, so we're actually the first team to beat him, which puts us both at 4-1, which is really nice. So make sure you go check him out. This was a clean battle from us, but I think we just had a strong game plan. Like, once I realized in testing that Kangaskhan put on so much pressure, I actually don't think they had a great answer for it. So I think initially I thought the matchup was in their favor because their Megas beat mine pretty considerably, but Kangaskhan was actually just a demon here, and Gallade as well continues to just be unbelievable. So yeah, thanks for coming along. We will be in playoffs, I believe, because we're 4-1. It's basically impossible for us not to make playoffs, so we'll find out who we're playing and we'll get on to that next week. See you guys then.